The United Way of Southwest Virginia's Child Care Works program is dedicated to growing the supply of childcare so that businesses can remain competitive and workers can pursue and keep stable employment. Businesses who seek to offer childcare benefits to their staff can partner with an existing childcare provider in their community to secure childcare for their employees' dependents, helping to retain and attract staff, improve morale, and boost productivity. Disclaimer: the information contained here has been prepared by Civitas Strategies and is not intended to constitute legal, tax, or financial advice. The Civitas Strategies team has used reasonable efforts in collecting, preparing, and providing this information, but does not guarantee its accuracy, completeness, adequacy, or currency. The publication and distribution of this information is not intended to create, and receipt does not constitute, an attorney-client or any other advisory relationship. Reproduction of this information is expressly prohibited. As we move through this presentation, we will discuss why child care businesses should consider a formal partnership with employers, how to find an employer to partner with, what the incentives are for employers, how employers can launch a program, and how child care providers and employers can develop a partnership service agreement. A partnership between an employer and a child care provider can take many forms and can be crafted to meet the needs of both the employer's business and employees as well as the child care business. For instance, if a business provides financial assistance and resources for their employees to find or afford childcare, this arrangement is often called employer-sponsored childcare because the employer is sponsoring care for their employees' children. However, this might not necessarily result in a formal partnership with a local childcare provider. A formal partnership means that the childcare provider has contracted with the employer to serve only children of their employees, or the program is allocating or reserving a certain number of their slots for those employees' children. Employers might be able to work with the childcare provider to be open during the shifts that their employees work. Or employers could simply have an agreement with a local provider to refer their employees to that provider if and when they need child care, which could help boost enrollment at the program. Childcare programs can offer services on or near an employer's campus or off-site at their own facility, depending on the situation. Usually, partnering with a childcare provider that is separate from a business means that the childcare provider would hire and train staff and take care of all aspects of their own business. A formal partnership with a business can have many benefits to a childcare business. The childcare business's enrollment might become more stable, meaning more reliable and constant income because a local business is sending their families to the child care business. This could save time on outreach and marketing. The child care business may become a trusted resource for that business, and word of mouth could lead to additional partnerships in the future. The child care business could match the business's hours of operation and possibly even be closed on holidays or during times the families are not at work. The long-term impacts of this partnership and what it could mean for a child care business in years to come are worth considering. Here's an example of the benefits of this type of partnership. Selena owns a small family child care home and has been struggling to reach full enrollment. A parent of one of the children in her care works at a small business with 10 employees down the street. This parent has been thrilled with the option to have her child so close to her place of employment. Selena decided to call the nearby employer to see if they would be interested in engaging in a partnership. She told the employer that if they would be willing to let employees know about her business nearby, Selena would be happy to offer priority spots on her waitlist. The employer was so excited about this opportunity that they also agreed to pay a portion of their employees' child care costs so that employees could receive nearby child care at a discounted rate. Selena now benefits from having a steady stream of enrolled families and built-in advertisement of services through this partnership, stabilizing her child care business. First, employers who offer child care benefits to their employees report increased employee retention and loyalty, improved productivity, and a better workplace environment. All of this leads to reduced expenses, employee absences and turnover, and higher profits due to increased productivity. Further, you may be eligible to receive a tax break if you invest in child care services for your employees. The employer-provided child care facilities and service credit offers a refund of up to 25% of your child care expenses at tax season, plus 10% of research and referral expenses, with a maximum annual credit of $150,000. You may be eligible to claim this credit for expenses that your company incurs to provide child care services to your employees, either on-site or in contract with a local child care facility, as well as for the expenses you incur to help them find child care services. For instance, if your business is interested in partnering with a child care business to open a child care program on your campus, then you could recoup up to 25% of the costs related to constructing, expanding, or rehabilitating your business property to accommodate child care services. Keep in mind the credit is capped at $150,000 annually. You can also claim the operating expenses of this facility, including training employees and scholarship programs for tuition. Alternatively, if you would like to enter a contract with a child care provider to offer child care services to your employees off-site, then you may claim 25% of business expenses with a limit of $150,000 annually for facility maintenance, child care providers' wages and training, and children's tuition. One additional way to receive funding through the tax credit is to provide resource and referral services to your employees. If you offer resource and referral services to help your employees find and access child care, you may claim 10% of these expenses as part of your tax credit. This 10% is in addition to the 25% of direct service expenses you can claim, but it is included in the $150,000 credit limit. Here's an example of the benefits of this type of partnership. Megan, the owner of several businesses, has been having trouble with hiring new staff, with many applicants stating that they wish they could accept a job offer, but can't without access to child care in the area. Megan learned about employer child care partnerships and approached a nearby child care business to tell them the story of prospective employees that had to turn down jobs due to a lack of child care in the area. The child care business agreed to enter into a partnership with Megan's businesses. The child care business would reserve a number of openings for children of Megan's employees, and in return, Megan would provide financial support. By having reserved child care placement at a nearby well-respected program, Megan now has an additional incentive for working families to accept employment at her businesses. If you are an employer interested in offering child care as a benefit to your employees, you will first want to decide what type of benefit you will offer. For instance, will you offer on-site child care, or will you contract with a local child care provider to reserve spaces? How many of your employees need child care, and how many would use this benefit if you provided it? Is there an existing child care business nearby you could work with, or do you need to start conducting outreach? Will you be offering financial assistance to help your employees afford child care or any other benefits? What other decision makers within your company do you need to involve in this process? Getting answers to these questions will be crucial first steps. If you don't know the answer to these questions, you might want to speak with your employees about their needs and what they would want from a child care benefit. Do they want to continue sending their children to their existing arrangement, or would they appreciate an on-site option at your place of work? How many employees actually need child care services at the moment? If they were developing the benefit, what would it look like? Surveying your employees anonymously to determine answers to these questions can help you figure out the demand for child care services and preferences of your employees. If you intend to partner with an existing child care business, either to reserve spaces or open a new location for your employees, you will want to conduct outreach locally. You may even reach out to your local child care aware office, as they may have a good idea of potential partnerships and providers that are looking to expand. Childcare works as an employer-sponsored childcare benefit program created in partnership with United Way of Southwest Virginia and local manufacturers in Go Virginia Region 1. It is designed to assist advanced manufacturers in Southwest Virginia in recovering from the effects of the pandemic, stabilizing the workforce, and getting families back to work by providing a benefit to assist with the cost of childcare. Child care costs in Southwest Virginia can be up to 25% of an employee's income, which can result in the use of inconsistent, free care from relatives and friends, causing excessive employee absences due to lack of child care, or even ultimately employees choosing not to work in order to care for young children at home. United Way of Southwest Virginia partnered with state and local grant makers to address this workforce problem by offering financial support for both the administration of the program and tuition subsidies to match employer contributions. Using Child Care Works, qualifying employees receive a total of $100 towards their child care cost each week, with the employer providing $50 weekly and matching grant funds providing the remaining $50. Employees using this program have been incredibly appreciative to their employers and the private funders of the project for the relief in child care expenses. In addition to financial support, United Way of Southwest Virginia offers participating businesses consultation services through our partner Civitas strategies. Consultations for interested employers include information on the structure and startup of an employer-sponsored child care program and guidance on tax implications for the company and employees. Additional support for participating sites includes a marketing toolkit for advertising the program to employees, access to a resource for finding child care near the employee's home or work site, on-site presentations with Q&A, and facilitated enrollment sessions for employees. When entering an employer-child care partnership, employers and child care businesses must discuss and agree upon which entity will take on which responsibilities and what the expectations are for both parties. Many questions and considerations should be discussed and mutually agreed upon by all involved parties. Once these decisions have been made, you can add lists of responsibilities within the service agreement template. Be sure to discuss and specify the nature of partnership. Will the program operate at a facility operated by the employer on-site or at a facility operated by the child care business off-site? Will the business directly pay tuition for reserved spots or other expenses? If so, how much will be paid and how frequently? Who will be responsible for collecting the remaining tuition? If the employer collects tuition as a payroll deduction, for instance, how will this be transferred to the provider? The location. Is the location a new or existing child care business? Will renovations be needed? How long will the renovations take? What will be the address and exact location of the child care program? Slots and children served. What ages and how many children will the program serve? How many children can the program serve? How many slots are currently available for the partnership, and how many are already filled? Will additional slots be reserved for staff if they open up? What happens if there is a wait list for employees' children? Program schedule. What are the days and times of operation? What days/times during the year is the program closed or will be closed? Do these closures match the hours of the employer? Demand. Has the employer assessed whether their current employees would enroll their children in this program? How many families/children might enroll as soon as this partnership begins? How many families/children are interested in enrolling next year? Are there more or fewer slots available than this assessed demand? Responsibilities for premises. Which party is responsible for ownership or lease of the space? Maintaining the facility's interior. For example, who is responsible for fixing a leak in the ceiling or a floorboard that has come loose? Maintaining the facility's exterior and grounds, if applicable. For example, who is responsible for mowing the grass? Who is responsible for ensuring that the path families take to enter the child care program from outside the building is well maintained and unobstructed? If a private space is rented, this might be the renter's landlord's responsibility. Responsibilities for employment. Which party will be the employer of the hired child care staff and responsible for paying wages? Responsibilities for liability. Liability insurance, business property insurance, business liability insurance, and general liability insurance, certificate of insurance, depending upon the configuration of the agreement. These are all things to note which business is responsible for which insurance to ensure both businesses are fully covered. Child care program policies and procedures. Does the employer want to review and/or approve the policies and procedures in place by the child care business? Is there a shared desire for the employer and the child care business to review and discuss the child care program's policies and procedures on an annual basis? Primary contacts. Identify primary contacts from both parties and their contact information. Consider who will be the contact from each business for the following instances: contract negotiation, amendment, and approval. Basic, day-to-day communication, for example, a member of HR and a point person from the child care program. Accounting/payroll. And, if applicable, facilities and maintenance. Let's look at a few frequently asked questions about employer-child care partnerships. What happens if you want the employer partnership agreement to end or if there is a change in leadership? Include in your agreement how to exit the agreement with an employer. Be sure to include steps the employer needs to take and steps you need to take as the provider. Things to consider are the length of notice each party is expected to provide the other, how to notify the families who are utilizing the partnership agreement, and what impact the ending of a partnership agreement will have on the partnering business, your child care program, and families. If you engage in an employer partnership, does the employer control the child care business? No. In this employer-child care partnership, the child care business retains its autonomy, meaning the child care business is its own business with its own policies, procedures, and practices. In employer-child care partnerships, each business comes together to partner to support the success of the other business. How are disputes handled and who has the final decision-making capability? Employers and child care providers need to establish clear guidelines and procedures for dispute resolution in their partnership agreement. The specific process can vary, but outlining how disputes are handled will provide a guide for the employer and you if or when an issue occurs. By having a well-defined process in place, both parties can navigate disputes more effectively and maintain a positive working relationship. What types of businesses and providers can benefit? Types of businesses that could benefit from this partnership: hospitals, skilled care facilities, and medical complexes, universities or school districts, manufacturing and factories, other companies with a lot of staff in one location, groups of companies located in shopping plazas or grouped close to each other, businesses with limited care options, such as in rural or agricultural areas, companies with high turnover, hospitality, retail. Types of child care providers that could benefit from this partnership: home-based family child care providers, small child care centers, large child care centers, multi-site child care centers. Who do I contact to learn more about Child Care Works and other employer-sponsored child care opportunities in Southwest Virginia? Email info.childhood@unitedwayswva.org for more information about Child Care Works and other employer-sponsored child care opportunities in Southwest Virginia. How can I help employees find child care in Southwest Virginia? The Birth to 5 Hub provides an interactive system that identifies child care options close to an employee's home or work address, even showing families what options are along the way of their commute path. If you need additional help, email info.childhood@unitedwayswva.org for more information about Child Care Works and other employer-sponsored child care opportunities in Southwest Virginia. This video is brought to you by the United Way of Southwest Virginia through a partnership with Civitas Strategies.